Are you looking for a compact DSP amplifier, a monoblock, from a renowned German manufacturer at a good price? Then you're in the right place today. I brought something with me. These are a few devices from my private collection. You might have seen the boxes before because they stand at the back, putting them back in order. Hello, my name is Thomas, and today I'm going to show you a few Helix amplifiers. Helix amplifiers, you're probably thinking, he has already introduced a Helix amplifier to you before. Exactly. You can watch the video there. And I have the old Helix, which is still standing back there. I tested it once. I took a look at it once. What's all included and so on. But today we're going to talk about something a bit different. Helix? Generally, when you ask what kind of Helix amplifiers are there are the C, P, V, H, M, and D series. And there used to be a G series. Already, yes, there are quite a few series of amplifiers that Helix has available for us. Today we're going to take a look at the M series together. But what is the M series anyway? The M series is priced below the CPV series but above the D series. So I'd say they're already affordable devices that aren't super crazy expensive, which aren't super ultra high-end in terms of performance, but really indeed have power. Good DSP built in and are actually nice, small, compact amplifiers. The entire M series that exists is produced in China. So that means, yes, these are devices from the company Helix. Helix is a German manufacturer, but the M series, price-wise, is assembled in China. Still, there is something from Germany in these devices. So, of course, the complete know-how, the complete. The design, everything has of course been developed in Germany, but it's the DSP board. That is on the corresponding amplifier. So when we talk about a DSP amplifier in a moment, that DSP board is made in Germany. What kind of amplifiers are these things here anyway? So this Helix M series, these are completely Class D amplifiers. Class D amplifiers means these are digital amplifiers, they are not analog. So, of course, we have analog inputs and outputs, we don't need to discuss that, but the amplifier design here is Class D. That's relatively economical. It's relatively compact. It doesn't generate much waste heat, it's efficient. Actually, it's a pretty cool mix. When you take a look back into the past, since when has this M series even existed? Yes, if you do a bit of research, you'll find out that the first 3 amplifiers of this M series were released back in 2018. So that means we are now at the end of 2023. That means these things are now over 5 years old. It doesn't have much to say, but yes, this series has been around for 5 years. So it's not something that just came out yesterday. The first amplifiers of the series, 3 in total, were once a single-channel monoblock, the M1. There was a 4-channel amplifier, the M4. And a 6-channel amplifier, the M6. The entire series definitely got a significant upgrade in 2020. An upgrade in the form of there was suddenly a stronger monoblock, the M1X. I've got it here, we'll take a look in a moment. Then there was a DSP upgrade for the 2 multi-channel amplifiers, that is, for the M4 and the M6. What does upgrade mean? Was there a DSP included? Because the M6 and the M4 that existed before were just regular amplifiers, with RCA inputs and everything that comes with it. But now there are also the M4 DSP and the M6 DSP, which means a DSP amplifier. I've also shown you DSP amplifiers before. You can take a look at that. So what do we have now? We now have 6 amplifiers in this entire series. We have a small monoblock, we have a large monoblock, we have a 4-channel, we have a 4-channel with DSP, we have a 6-channel, and a 6-channel with DSP. So we really do indeed have a powerful series now. The amplifier that basically, everything I have back in boxes or here on the table are all my amplifiers. These are all used amplifiers. They were all already installed in the car. So don't be surprised if there's a little spot on it somewhere. Somewhere there's already something scratched off or something like that. But with these 2 amplifiers, you can actually show quite well how big are these things, because there are only 2 different housing sizes. The large housing size is 32 cm, 15.4 cm and 5 cm high. In this size, there is the M1X, the M6 DSP, and the M6. In the small size, there is the M1, which I don't have here. There is an M4 and a DSP. The small housing size is just as tall as the other one. That means we're talking about 15.4 cm, 5 cm, but only 23 cm long. That means if I hold my hand next to it like this, you can pretty much gauge how big these two things are. And everything is inside these two housings. That means M6, M1X, M4, and the M1. I don't have the M1 here right now, but if we imagine this is the M1 because it looks similar in terms of the housing. Of course, the connection options are different, but otherwise the housing is basically the same. Then we have, if I cover this up and this were more like an M1, then it would be a monoblock, so it would only have one channel, delivering 240 watts at 4 ohms, 410 watts at 2 ohm, 600 watts at 1 ohm, with a damping factor of 100. And this amplifier is available new for about 250 euros. So a nice little monoblock for such a small subwoofer. Nothing special. The big brother, that's the upgrade from the M1. The M1X, I actually have it here. It was already connected. It really does its job very, very well. The power at 4 ohms is 400 watts. At 2 ohms, it's 700 watts. And at 1 ohm over 1 kilobar, which means 1030 watts, with a damping growth of 1050. But the amplifier can be bridged. Yeah, what do you mean by brothers? It's a monoblock, but you can link it with a second 1X. That means there is a so-called twin power link mode, and in twin power link mode, we need 2 of these devices. You get 1400 watts at 4 ohms and 2060 watts at 2 ohms out. So really, really a lot. The amplifier currently costs about 350 euros new. So a really nice small compact monoblock, German manufacturer, not some kind of Chinese stuff or anything from Brazil, whatever. But beautiful, German engineering, and also with plenty of power. And like I said, 2 of them with even more power. If you say, okay, the amplifier isn't expensive at 350 euros, if I have 2 of them, I'm at 700 euros and I get 2 kWs out of it. That's also a price that you can somehow manage. I have to say, in terms of quality and sound, this thing is really, really awesome. I also know that the colleague here on YouTube, Peter Steinbacher from PS Sounds, uses the amplifier a lot, very gladly in ultra high-end setups, as he himself says. So, really recommended. The piece is actually not bad for the price. Let's move on to the 4-channel amplifiers. So, as I said, this here is the M4 DSPs. They are also available just as the M4 without the DSPs. The amplifier runs relatively easy and stable. It has 4100 watts at 2 ohms and at 4 ohms. That means it doesn't matter what we connect. OChem, 3 OChem, 4 OChem, it always outputs 4100 watts from this amplifier. Without DSP, with DSP, exactly the same. The M4. Without DSP, that means not the DSP version, but the one without DSP, just the regular one. Channel amplifier is available for about 300 euros in the store. So, yeah, it's really a good deal. M6 DSP. The same thing with 6 channels. And in the big case, I have that. That means the case is back there, but it's currently installed in the car. Yeah. It actually has exactly the same as the 4-channel. It simply has 6 times 100 watts at 4 and at 2 ohms. And also at 3, that means a bit larger in form factor because the transistors and such have to fit in somewhere. But in the end, it's exactly the same. That means we just have 6 times 100 watts no matter what we do. The versions without DSP have, of course, a relatively wide range of crossover options. That means you can adjust the channels accordingly with crossovers, adjusting gains and so on and so forth. I don't have the M4 and the M6 at all. I actually have an M4 DSP and an M6 DSP in the car down below. The M6 is 450 euros, a good deal for a 6-channel amp. 450 euros, which is also a good price for a 6-channel amplifier. You can also optionally bridge the M4 additionally. What does that mean now? Bridging is when you connect 2 speaker outputs together into one. and that way you get basically double the power. What does double the power mean and how much mean? Just double the amount. With the M4 DSP, we're talking about 2 channels because 2 are bridged, of 2 times 200 watts. With the M6, we're talking about 3 times 200 watts because we have 6 channels through 3 times. But you can also mix it. That means, for example, you could say you use the M6 for a 2-way front system. And then you say, okay, for the tweeters, I'll use the 100 watts. I bridge the other 4 channels and then have 200 watts available for the mid-bass speakers. When bridged, the 2 amplifiers are only 4 ohm stable. That means we can really only connect 4 ohm speakers, not 3 or 2 ohm speakers. Now let's talk about the upgrade that happened in 2020. In 2020, there was indeed the DSP upgrade. That means the M4 already existed before. The DSP was added then. What does that mean? What's inside? Can you use that? Is that great? Whatever. I think so. So there is now also an M4 DSP and an M6 DSP. In terms of power ratings, they are identical to their brothers and sisters without DSPs. That means we're always talking about these 100 watts per channel. Everything's great. But then this German DSP board was integrated into this amplifier. And that makes it a fully fledged DSP amplifier. I've explained that before. That means there's a digital home processor inside. And this digital home processor then enables all the active crossovers, time correction, etc. The DSP. That's in this M4 DSP and the one in the M6 DSP. It's comparable to a Helix Pro DSP. Helix Pro DSP isn't the smallest, but it's good. A fully developed DSP, or whatever, but this is really, really good. Full-fledged DSPs. You have to say, the limitation with this series is that they are not high-res capable. Not high-res capable means they only process everything internally at 140 kHz. So that means if we put something like that, put in 96 kHz material, then it just gets cut off at the top and bottom. That means these things can't do high-res compared to the Helix Pro DSPs. But other than that, we have a C-channel DSP in here. It's me now, channel DSP. C-channel DSP in a 4-channel amplifier means we actually have 6 outputs. If you take a look at this, here, we actually have line outputs. Here, a little connector goes in with RCA outputs. And then we have an additional 6 channels that can be completely processed in this DSP here. And then they can continue to be used. That means we can still connect here. A 4-channel DSP amplifier, connect a 4-channel amplifier. Or, if necessary, we could just connect an M6 here. That would all work. The RCA outputs we see here are pre-amplified and have an output voltage of up to 6 volts. That means a really high signal actually comes out of here, which is really cool. We have an optical input. That means we can also just go in here with a Toslink cable and then put the signal in here directly without any interference. We have a connection for a controller, which means we can connect a conductor or other Helix products here, with which we can control the entire DSP from the front. USB for setting up the DSP, of course. Then we have the high-level inputs. We have a remote output. We have normal line inputs for when we have regular RCA stuff. And if we look at the other side, we have our outputs here as usual. So here are our speaker outputs, here are our power connections and the remote. So far, it actually fits really well. Yes, it's a well-equipped DSP that's in here, together with a 4-channel amplifier. The thing I have in the car now is just a bit bigger. Here, yes, I've already mentioned that, and this part just has 6 amplified outputs and only 4 preamp outputs. So this one has 6 preamp outputs, while the other, the M6 DSP, has 4 preamp outputs. These 4 preamp outputs can logically also be used for a subwoofer or for some kind of rear system, or anything else. Can you do everything with it? You can really do a lot with it, and it's a really full-fledged 10-channel DSP. And that. How much does all this fun cost? Because, yeah, sure, super cool, DSP here, DSP there. But tell me, how much does it cost? And that's really I think in terms of price-performance ratio, it's really, really great. Series, you can currently get the 4-channel amplifier with DSP new for around 600 euros. If you look at the 6-channel one, now you only have to pay 100 euros more, you're at 700 euros. And you have a 10-channel DSP, a 6-channel amplifier. Yeah, what more can you want for 700 euros? So, yeah. There are obviously cheaper DSP amplifiers in that budget range. What you have to give credit for here is this amplifier from Helix with the 10-channel DSP. They also have this well-known and renowned Arco platform from Helix here. And this Arco platform means that if these DSPs have an Arco platform, that they are compatible with the DSP Tool 5. And the DSP Tool 5 from Helix is indeed a very, very powerful PC tool. I'll cover that in one of the upcoming videos. We'll definitely get to that. I still have a few things planned with Helix. And we will also go into the DSP tool. And so what is also possible here with the controller that's on it, an input correction, everything possible, and that for the price. In the amplifier, I really think it's super cool in that size, I have to say. And if someone says, hey, cool, then the M4 DSP is basically, and the M6 DSP from the DSPs, identical? I would say yes, almost. Why almost? I just have both packages here, I've looked at both, and one thing stood out. And I can't really tell you what's better, but I just want to include it here for the sake of completeness. The M4 DSP is a 4-channel unit, and it's equipped with a 32-bit DA/AD converter from AKM. So that's actually pretty cool, because the input data that comes in here, really, if we put something analog in here, it will be processed in 32-bit, which means a relatively wide word length, to be broken down and then processed. The M6 DSP, which has basically the same DSP, doesn't have the 32-bit AKMs, but instead it has a 24-bit converter, DA/AD converter on it. That means we're talking about 12 bits less. Actually, not that cool. In turn, Ally, we're already calculating and working on it anyway. That means we're not really talking about the DA/AD converter at all, actually. So, of course, they should be as good as possible. We don't need to talk about that. And the larger it is, meaning the more bits we have, the more effectively we can work with it. But at this point, I don't know why they did it. But we definitely have two different ones. And I just wanted to mention that again for the sake of completeness. Are the things good now? Are the things now, can you be successful with them or anything like that? Right now I can say yes. This big trophy, that's standing there. This is 3rd place in German Finals Multimedia by M6. At the German Finals for Multimedia 2.0, in any case, the stop was achieved with the M6. I made it DSP. I became a German manufacturer. Because the 1st and 2nd place were Brits. Congratulations on that. Maybe we'll see each other at the Euro Finals. Let's see if I go there. But yes, you can actually win something with this amplifier. So it works. These are not bad amplifiers. If someone were to ask me now, are these the coolest amplifiers I know? Certainly not. So for the price, they can't really be the coolest amplifiers that you have. So they have a great feature set in terms of price performance. They have a decent DSP setup, 10 channels. Really, more than you actually need. So in a normal car hype setup, they have enough power, they are partially bridgeable. They have the twin options from the 1X. These are all cool things that are really for such a affordable series. So I know there are cheaper options. We don't need to talk about that. But this is now high quality. That's cool stuff. It's great to touch. That's awesome, well made. And still, in terms of price, very good. You can actually win something with it. And yeah, those things might hiss a little. That means when I turn on the ignition in the car, I hear a slight hiss coming from the speakers. but it is really very quiet. That means I can hear, okay, when there's no music signal coming in, then I hear them, and then I also know, okay, the system is on. That's quite handy. Yeah, when you install other things, when you install higher quality stuff, then that's just not there. That means you turn on the ignition and you don't know, is the system on or not. Soon music comes out. Here it's just that you hear a faint hiss. It's within the range. It doesn't get any point deductions in any competitions or anything like that. You can just tell, okay, there's something there. If you compare that with other DSPs, that means I used to have stuff from other manufacturers in it. Sure. And they hiss too. That's normal. Yes. It's nothing bad, but I just wanted to point that out again. Just a little. Yeah. When you connect the thing, you'll hear something very faint. Not. But it's a great series. In terms of price performance, it has everything you need. Monoblock 4-channel. Theoretically, a second channel would be missing. But you can bridge them. That's why I really wanted to show you this series. Because, I only came to this series through roundabout ways. And then I installed it. Just the one, then the M6 DSPs. I had the Monoblock in there. Just a fun, nice kind of amplifier. But that's just how it always is. You can upgrade, you want to upgrade. That's why I have maybe something standing back there, what I want to show you soon. So if you're interested in that and want to see more, what's Thomas going to do next? Just leave a subscription and then we'll see each other in the next video. Thank you for watching, and I would say see you soon. Your Thomas. Bye.